Hello, I'm back. It's 10:02 p.m. at night. Well, oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So, the previous video was a very short video, and I had like only 50 cents in the bank, and so no cash. But now, someone helped me, and now I have almost $70. Um, so thanks for the help very much. I really appreciate it. So, um, it like I try to give my body a rest from eating like burgers and stuff like that, but I ended up having like the cheapest I can find of burger and fries for dinner because that was all I had left, which left me with 50 cents left over in the bank. But for lunch, I tried to eat something healthier with cabbage, rice, and chicken. And right after lunch, I tried to fight it, but I ended up I guess it took a couple of hours that I dozed off and fell asleep and slept from somewhere after, maybe it was about almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't remember. I thought it was before then, but somewhere between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, all the way until I woke up at 6:11. I think I woke up at 5 something and like tried to fight to stay awake, and then couldn't stay awake, and then was asleep, and then woke up at 6:11 this evening. So I mean, it costed me more money to try to get me something healthier. So it was like some chicken, rice, and cabbage, and they had like I also had a little bit of plantains and let's see, plantains and oh, my mind went blank. Plantains and it had a little bit of small amount of carrots and potatoes in there too. So that was like the most nutritious or healthiest thing that I've eaten in I don't know how long. It's been a while. So, but for dinner I had like a barbecue hamburger. Well, it was like a hamburger with barbecue sauce and a little bit of onions and some fries on the side. And I tried this cake that they said was Black Forest cake, and never heard of it before. I've heard of Black Forest ham from Subway, but a Black Forest cake, the guy lied and said that it had coconut in it. Couldn't find out, it had some, I didn't know what kind of filling that was, but I guess it was cherry filling in it. I did not like it. I couldn't even eat it, you know. Excuse me. But I guess I tried to get the cake because it's still feeling like depression about the jail situation. And but I mean, I only ate like a couple of small bites of the cake and couldn't even finish it. And I'd be feeling terrible because I really don't like wasting food. But I mean, if there's something that is gross to me, I cannot eat it. You know. So, but the chicken and vegetables and stuff like that, it was really good, and it's like, oh, it was very much needed. It was very much needed. It was like they call it brown stewed chicken. So, but it was so good. It was really good. You know, cuz somebody had another person had donated me some, you know, a certain amount of money. I'm not going to say how much it was. And well, I'll say $20, and she said breakfast, you know. But since I had the muffin for breakfast and the apple juice, you know, I saved that for lunch. You know, that $20 donation for lunch, and got me like a decent meal. It was somebody on TikTok, you know, but you know, it was a decent meal, like something healthy for once. Because I can't go to Piccadilly no more. I mean, it's like I would feel like ashamed to show my face, and I don't know if I'm banned from Piccadilly or not, you know, or if they might start bullying me again. Like, why would I or should I go back there? So, um, Piccadilly used to be like half that price or much cheaper back then, and now they got more expensive. Excuse me, like in 2017 and 18 they used to be cheaper, but to get like yeah, Piccadilly's starting to be expensive. But I mean, I worked there because there was an opportunity, you know. But you know, it was an opportunity to work there, and they workplace mobbed me within, like, you know, before I can receive my first paycheck. They workplace mobbed me off the job. And then four days after being workplace mobbed off the job, here come the jail thing. And they wrongfully banned me from the in-town suites for exposing gang stalking, you know. So I could have had it almost made. You know, if I would have got paid like $13 to $15 an hour and about at least 40 hours a week, plus the Social Security SSI check. Well, not SSI, because they would take the SSI off, and it's only $24 for SSI anyway. But if I would have had all that plus paying $400 a week, I could have had everything made. I mean, I could have had it made and almost didn't need to ask for help. But all of that got ruined. I mean, that could have been a living arrangement, a cheaper living arrangement. You know, it could have been a living arrangement, you know, that got sabotaged, ruined. The job opportunity got sabotaged, ruined. You know, and then ended up going to jail, you know, wrongfully going to jail 4 days later. So, I mean, it's I don't even know if people really were doing like some extreme witchcraft for real, you know, to have so much bad happen to me like within, you know, a couple of weeks. I mean, wait, hold up. I think it was February 15th when they gang stalked me out of, you know, that in-town suites. And now I'm wrongfully banned and can't go to either location, any location, excuse me, throughout the whole country, you know. All for putting the gang stalking front desk agent on camera. So now I'm wrongfully on the do not rent list, and she tried to treat me like as if I'm some violent criminal or something, while she was perping me and I just wanted to I was trying to expose her. So I mean, it's like in the online stalkers they were already conspiring to have me to lose my job, and calling up and bragging about how they contacted Piccadilly. They were bragging about how they contacted Piccadilly and told them lies about me, the same slander that I always get, the same lies told about me everywhere. Excuse me. So, but it's like I'm sick of the mind game with the gang stalkers. They would tell you go get housing or go get a job, and then they threaten to sabotage and follow through with their threats, with causing you to lose your housing or jobs or excuse me, whatever else. And they want for me to be homeless, but they lie to everybody and say that I want to be homeless. They enjoy seeing me suffer, but they lie and say that that I enjoy being homeless, which is not true. That's what they enjoy, seeing me suffer being homeless. And it's like, how can you falsely say that I want to be homeless, but at the same time, y'all falsely accuse me of wanting to live in luxury? Now they're making the same complaints. That's not their business anyway. Making the same complaints, lying and saying, like, how can you falsely accuse me of wanting to live in luxury? I mean, I'm back in my hometown where I was born and raised. Like, y'all don't have the authority or the right to try to control where I live at. So, excuse me. I went to, after they gang stalked me out of my hometown, New Orleans, and then I went to Pensacola, and then the online stalker, Starbricker, trying to talk about, oh, she's living in a luxury beach town that she can't afford, which was not the case. And everybody was saying, fake TI perps and regular perps kept trying to say get out of Pensacola and get out of Florida for 4 years. Now I'm away from there, and people are like, well, you should go to a place near a beach, or you should go and live near a beach or whatever. But they like, how can you falsely accuse me of living in a resort town when the beach is like in a different county from Pensacola? It's in Santa Rosa County, but Pensacola is Escambia County. And I didn't even get to go to the beach a whole lot, that often. But I basically said I was homeless in Pensacola off and on for about 4.5 years, off and on, but I didn't stay consistently in Pensacola for that long, excuse me. But the years 2021 and 2022, I was definitely in Pensacola. I don't even think I traveled out of Pensacola in 2021 or 2022. Maybe I did, but just don't remember. But I was forced to have to flee when Alex Dupree ran me out of Pensacola in 2020. um in June 2020, and then January 2023, the gang stalkers, no, it was late January, early February 2023, they gang stalked me out of Pensacola. And then I went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I've never been there, but I like Cincinnati, but I really like Kentucky better than Cincinnati. But I stayed there for 2 months, and they had a fake TI perp that lured me to Texas. That I never wanted to go back to Texas, and she lured me to Texas and then ghosted me the night that I got there. And then I went through hell in a city, a small town, where the gang stalking was heavy, and everybody except for myself was an abusive, extremely narcissistic gang stalker. You know, everybody except for myself. You know, excuse me. And so the online stalkers like found out where I was going before the bus even arrived in to Bloomington, Texas, and I'm never going back there again. That was a traumatizing, scary nightmare to live. It was worse than my experience with Denton, Texas. You know. Excuse me. And me living in Bloomington and could not leave the cabin that I was staying in. When I was living in Bloomington and was in that cabin, like, it felt like I was locked up in jail or prison, because it was so extremely hot that it was life-threatening to walk out of your house for 2 minutes. You'll be nearly on the verge of dropping dead. You know. But, like, it was a struggle to try to get established there, and then, you know, they tortured me with direct energy weapons so bad that they were killing me up in there. You know, so I couldn't even stay and living in that cabin because they were killing me in that cabin. And then the paramedics were oppressive and abusive and narcissistic bullies. And sometimes I don't know why it's like paramedics would even be as brutal and abusive and narcissistic as cops. And even like with the paramedics, you don't see any empathy or compassion or love or care for they treat you more like a criminal than a medical patient. You know, when you're targeted and you need medical care, they treat you more like a criminal than a medical patient. So, you know, after that one hospital incident that I went through, it seems like any other sickness or injury or whatever suffering that I went through, it seemed like I just was forced to stick it out and hope that I don't die. You know, excuse me. So, so I mean, as I said, like, they try to blame something else to scapegoat other than the directed energy weapons that they knew damn well was the directed energy weapons. And the vertigo was so bad that I thought I was gonna die, and I suffered the vertigo for weeks. And that was traumatizing. And every time I try to take a shower, they will squeeze my organs, and it's like, you know. And I had some other attacks that happened too that I can't think of right now, but they attacked me with the weapons so bad, and hitting me with dues and a lot of noise campaign, noise harassment. If I went out to go to the post office or go to the store, I would have to deal with, being followed and harassed, and perps making death threats at me for filming and recording and exposing them. They would make threats multiple times, excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, and I almost was barely making it or barely affording to live in that cabin, you know. And then the online stalkers kept threatening me every month to make me back homeless again on the streets. And they would talk about how they called up the front office and told them about me. I'm like, well, excuse me. Well, if that's the case, that might be why the front office people were rude to me and treated me like a nuisance. I mean, a couple of times I tried to get jobs in Victoria, and the gang stalking network sabotaged those job opportunities I tried to get, you know. So, and then, I was in Bloomington for a few months, and then afterwards, I was in went back to Pensacola once that housing opportunity came up, and I didn't realize that was a gang stalking setup from the beginning and based upon lies and deception. And that Marion lady really didn't want me to come back down there. She didn't really want me down there. So I was desperate to get out of Bloomington and happy to finally have like a permanent housing again after struggling for so many years. And then, only lasted a month and lost pretty much almost everything I had, and then almost lost my entire life. And there was a gang stalker with a Freemason symbolism in a red car that was lurking around, to make sure that the murder of me would be carried out, but they failed. And if it weren't for that lady, Miss Ross, she came out when that perp was seconds away from putting her hands on me. And she said in front of Miss Ross's face, "'Cause not everybody gonna spare you." Excuse me. So it's like, how do you have a right to hurt or kill somebody for exposing you as a gang stalker, but then y'all be smear campaigning and telling lies and being confrontational and picking fights with the meek, humble target, that doesn't go around bothering anybody, So I received another email that Twitter was saying that the fake Darnell Williams perp did not block. I'm sorry, that he did not break any rules, and that you could just block the account. I already did that. So like, how is he not breaking any rules by calling me a cow? But anyway, excuse me. So the stalkers can get away with so much harassment and abuse and everything. And it's eating me up that I have this false criminal charge because the stalkers thought it was funny to play a prank and lie on me. The satanic devil worshiping Luciferian cult members, they're doing this from online and causing it to affect my real life. That the fake Darnell Williams perp and the fake Aquarian Doris perp, they're both younger than me and want to try to beat me into submission, to join their Luciferian satanic sex trafficking cult that I don't want to join. And you know and so, but yeah, I've been back homeless again since October 3rd of last year. And I was back homeless again since October 3rd, but I think it was October 18th was when I finally ran out of funds, and had to, started going to the airport, and the gang stalkers sabotaged that. And so I've been having moments of suffering on the streets, and it ain't the same like when I was homeless in Pensacola, excuse me. But when I was homeless on the streets out in the cold in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, I had to deal with a perp that was making death threats at me. And I was downtown Cincinnati, and he was making death threats at me. So then when I put him on film and try to record him, then he got really quiet. And then there was a guy on a bus that was perping and harassing me and making death threats at me. And he said he had just got out of jail or prison or whatever. And I had an altercation with him on the bus. He followed me all the way to the back of the bus on an empty bus and started to pick fights with me for nothing at all. And I almost got into an all-out fist fight with him, but I'm pretty sure I would have lost with my disability and everything. But, he was trying to antagonize, trigger, and provoke me, and he bragged about how he just got out of jail. But, excuse me, when I was in Bloomington, I dealt with a lot of sleep deprivation, and then when I did get sleep, it would be nightmares about being back homeless on the streets again, in which that came true, and nightmares about being locked up and put away in prison forever, and traumatizing nightmares about being locked up and put away in prison for the rest of my life, or jail or whatever for the rest of my life. And here it freaking came true. And I would have repetitive nightmares about repetitive nightmares about being harassed by police and confronted by police and stuff like that, and wake up traumatized. But I'd be trying to stay away from people and stay away from arguments, stay away from confrontation, trying to stay away from altercations. And, excuse me, just trying to stay out of trouble. But I've come to conclusion that I can no longer have, like, I'm not allowed to have permanent housing ever again for as long as I live. And it's even worse with the criminal record. I don't have a conviction, at least not yet, and hopefully I'm praying for them to dismiss the case. Even though they try to make it like as if no cases go dismissed and the fake judge just want to throw everybody in jail. What the fuck kind of judge is that? You know, and then people want to say a public defender is not there to be on your side. They're just there to make sure that there's a fair trial. Well, how can there be a fair trial without you even wanting to listen to my side of the story or my side of what happened? You just make a fake opinion about me and just want to throw me in jail unjustly. You know, and even that fake public defender was abusive and narcissistic and had his mind made up. The cops were abusive and narcissistic. No, they were straight up fucking psychos. Psychopaths. You know. Excuse me, they were psychopaths. You know, they were gonna kill me. And it's like, if you want to arrest somebody that's non-violent, why you want to throw them to the ground? Like, why you can't just peacefully, you know, put them in handcuffs and put them in a car? Why you gotta be violent and even threaten to slam someone to the ground? I need justice for the way those cops abused me. And then the online stalkers lied on me and said that I was resisting arrest. Well, if I was resisting arrest, why is that not on my criminal charge? But y'all think y'all know more than I do. I was not under arrest when they approached and confronted me. And then I'm hearing that, you know, I'm supposed to be able to get a lawsuit because of the idea that the officer said, if you don't answer my questions, I'm going to take you to jail. Excuse me. So basically my crime was not answering their questions, you know, and then but I did not even, I mean, it's like I didn't even realize that, you know, I forgot all about the idea that people say don't talk to police. And I did not consent to search and seizure, and, you know, I did not consent to them, you know, what they did to my belongings was criminal mischief. They falsely charged me for what they did to me. And I heard this bullshit for people to talk about, I mean, for the cops to talk about obeying a lawful command or a lawful order. You know, and I was confused and figured, oh, it's the gang stalker. Oh, see, they hit me in my left ear with the directed energy weapons. So the online stalkers bragged about how it was them who called up the fake Aquarian Doris perp, bragged and laughed about that was her that made that call, and then celebrated with some red wine and red velvet cake. But, you know, if she got caught being the one to make the false call and everything, I heard that, and the fake Darnell Williams perk, what he did to me last year, I heard that is criminal mischief for y'all to make prank calls to the cops just to try to destroy somebody and get them in trouble. and y'all still continue to harass me. Excuse me. So, I mean, even being targeted and blacklisted, you know, it was very little hope, but still a little bit possibility for housing and job opportunities. But people saying that with a criminal charge, that you just, you know, out of the question for any housing or jobs or anything. So if I gotta have this wrongful criminal conviction, then don't get mad when I cannot accept your advice to go get a job or go get housing. But I cannot have low income permanent housing anymore due to the gang stalking. That they gang stalk and threaten my life from every place I try to live at. And that fake Mary Stallworth lady kept on making repetitive threats to evict me and lied on me and said that I broke every rule. You know. But one thing I'm glad about, you know, I'm glad I don't have to be forced to have to smell weed and cigarettes every day. You know, but when I'm downtown in New Orleans, I'm forced to have to smell weed and cigarettes everywhere. You know, and it's inescapable, seeming like, you know, excuse me. So, it's like, don't even bother to ask me to go get housing or jobs if I got this fake criminal charge I gotta fight. But, you know, they recently workplace mobbed me off the job, and so I mean, I try to be less of a burden and trying to fight to get permanent housing, and you know, they gang stalked me and threatened my life, and the online stalkers were bragging about calling, you know, the online stalkers were bragging about calling the, you know, calling up that apartment complex, and they illegally found out where I lived at, and they were bullying, harassing, and threatening me, and making death threats at me, and threatening me about and harassing me about how there's a funeral 3 blocks down. I mean, a funeral home 3 blocks down, and stuff like that. You know, excuse me, and you know, harassing me about, well, none of your family care about you, so who's gonna be there to bury you when you die very soon, and stuff like that. You know, the sex traffickers, you know, making sexual harassment and death threats at me and stuff like that. You know, or you know, all kinds of online bullying and harassment, and I blocked their accounts. And you know, and they make fake new accounts to come and harass. And so they conspire to get me wrongfully fired from jobs and lose my housing, both online and in person gang stalkers, and then, you know, the online stalkers will have a false narrative and try to rewrite history when they're the ones living lies, and then they tell me, do not rewrite history, in which I'm telling the truth. And so, excuse me, so then, you know, they work for Satan, so nothing they're gonna say is true. But they trying to bully me to lie on myself, really? So after they brag about, yeah, I was the one that called your job and told them that you molested a child, which is not true, and y'all don't even have any proof. But excuse me, they brag about, oh yeah, I was the one who called up your job and told them that you be scamming people, or that you do this or do that or whatever. And they rob me of everything, and then when I try to fight to live, they want to call it scamming people. I don't have a vehicle to live in. So somebody in the TI community showed me this video about somebody having financial freedom and taking this little mobile trailer to make it into a little mobile home and go travel the world or travel the country. That's unrealistic for me being targeted. So I mean, back in 2019 and 20, people in the TI community was telling me go put up a GoFundMe and for a van to live in and live off of donations. And some people in the TI community have done that, but it's like if you're homeless and sleeping in a camper. I mean, if you're targeted and sleeping in a camper, the online stalker, the in-person stalkers will vandalize your camper and do stuff to like slowly break up everything, So I mean, to the point where they can slowly and systematically destroy your camper in the way that your camper will collapse, and then you get in all kinds of trouble. So excuse me. So you get in all kinds of trouble because they destroy your belongings or destroy your property. And I heard about homes and cars being vandalized and broken into, and nothing ever happens to these gang stalkers. They never get charged with trespassing, and they do the shit on purpose, willfully and knowingly. They're making my nose itch. They do this on purpose, willfully and knowingly. But they be so self-righteous about pointing out what they think you're doing wrong as a way to cover up their felony crimes. But like everything seems hopeless. The real criminals are the ones that's, setting people up on false criminal charges, and they will have everybody blame the victim and point fingers and say you were wrong and you should stay off everybody's property or stay off people's property. But, if somebody is targeted and they didn't know that that it was against the Louisiana law to be by a spot that they thought was safe, and I heard that homeless people get hit with criminal trespassing charges all the time. All it takes is for somebody that don't like you, and they want to trespass you from a public place of business. Or that they will lie and say that this public place is private property. So they even saying that that a mall or like I thought fake Walmart or something was public property. But oh no, they said it's private property. You know. But all these humans that act like they think they're God with making it like they own this and own that. If you want to talk about being a property owner, but I heard that you own nothing and you will own nothing and be happy, and that the government owns like your house that you think you own, or they own your car that you think you own. Because I heard that as long as you're paying property taxes, then you don't own that house. I heard about that. You know, or if you're paying car notes and car insurance or taxes on your car, even property taxes on your car, I heard you do not own it, and with the unconstitutional executive orders, the government will come and take your house or your car away during like the New World Order, or shit hit the fan, or the end of the world as we know it, or whatever. But I've been hearing about this police state of America, and not just America but in other countries, because I even saw videos of police brutality in the UK, but I'm not sure about Canada or Australia or New Zealand or something like that. But US and UK, they're pretty. It seems like UK, they said that our police brutality is worse, but from what I saw with them, they seem like they're worse. You know, excuse me. But I just saw where they had an 18-year-old illegal immigrant from Guatemala that was scapegoated and blamed for a police officer rough handling and tasing him, and then the officer had a heart attack, and then they blamed the young boy excuse me, and his parents probably brought him here. He was only 18, and they said he was quiet and minded his business and not bothering nobody. And he wasn't bothering anybody, and the cops just came to harass him for nothing. And he was staying at a hotel, and then damn, they got gnats in here. He was staying at a hotel, and and then the next door was a vacant hotel, and there were no signs that said no trespassing, but it was like an empty lot or a vacant spot. And the boy was standing by on the sidewalk, not on the property, but on the sidewalk by the vacant hotel, which was next door to the current hotel he was staying at. And then the cops falsely accused him of trespassing, and they harassed and bullied him and rough handled him and falsely accused him of resisting arrest. And he was, he didn't know any English at all. So he couldn't even really understand the officer yelling at him and going off on him and bullying him and stuff. And then, excuse me, then they scapegoated and blamed him for the officer dying of a heart attack. But damn, like I can't have like a job opportunity. I have a bachelor's degree and can't get a job opportunity. I'm banned from the college the university that I graduated from. And Excuse me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do one eye symbolism. Um, it wasn't intentional or on purpose. I didn't even look at the camera. But and I got this, what they say, eye boogers in my eyes. So I took a shower shortly before coming on this video, and was it before or after dinner that I had my shower? I don't remember. Um, I think it was after the shower I had my dinner, and the I mean the DoorDash order was like $11.62, you know, and the DoorDasher, she was a nice person, but her name was the same as my twin sister, you know. Excuse me. And then and with that 11.62, then I had 50 cents left over. And then afterwards, there's somebody who came to follow me on social media with the same name of the fast food restaurant. It was a local fast food restaurant with the burger and fries. You know, somebody that came and immediately came and followed me with that same name. You know, the same name of the restaurant. You know, so excuse me. Excuse me. So if you have, like, you know, I'm just using this for an example. Freddy's, if you order from Freddy's and you're targeted, and then next thing you know, on social media app, then somebody named Freddy come and follow you or request to follow you on social media, and you wonder if that was a coincidence. Like on TikTok, a few weeks ago, I mentioned nothing about Wingstop. Nothing at all about Wingstop. I didn't publicly mention it, and I didn't even privately mention it, but I ordered Wingstop, and they had somebody that was following me on TikTok, and then the very next day, like, that person had altered and manipulated for every picture. Like, they manipulated for their whole profile and account to revolve around Wingstop. Now that was intentional, you know, but I wonder, how did you know? But but it's like, that's creepy, because, like, you intentionally went out of your way to somehow find out that I ordered Wingstop, and then to change your profile picture and all your pictures and videos to be nothing but Wingstop themed everything. You know. Excuse me. So for me to order Ben's Burgers, and then somebody with the exact name as my twin sister, could have been a fake name, you know. And then I go online shortly after, and somebody with the name Ben came to follow me. You know, but And I don't know if that was the fake name Ben. Because gang stalkers use a lot of aliases and fake names and fake alter egos and multiple personalities and stuff. Like, whether it be a DoorDash order or in person. If you to deal with like a guy, with the name tag that says Stephanie, or a female, with the name Kevin. They will play those kinds of mind games with me, So it's like, if you a guy and have a fake name tag that says Claudia, not Claude, but Claudia, like a woman, or you're a female with, a name Timothy, with the name tag that said Timothy. But yeah, but it's like, it's crazy when people in the TI community, and when I say crazy, I mean like, it's odd, unusual, when people falsely accuse you of perping them, and and it's like for something that you're not even aware of, or that you didn't even know. So if you signed up for petitions and related to gang stalking and targeted individuals, and then you receive an email that I did not send you because I don't know your email, would you do that to everybody whose petition gets suggested to you when you actually subscribed to the gang stalking subject of change.org or whatever? And so of course you're gonna get some suggestions, but it's unfair for you to single me out and falsely accuse me of perping you when other people, if you're receiving excuse me, if you're receiving if you're receiving those same kind of emails from other people in the TI community, how come you don't blast and attack them and falsely accuse them of being perps too? Or you're just singling me out and you got paid to create a fake story or a fake narrative about me. So it's 11:01 p.m. My anxiety is so high, I just keep on nervously checking the time for some reason. I keep on checking my phone, any alerts. So I'm forced to have to either suffer on the streets or, stay in hotels, stay in hotels and suffer on the streets. Can't even I can't even have a permanent place to live or stay anywhere long term. Excuse me. And even in 2019, I thought I came to that conclusion that I could never stay anywhere long term or permanently being targeted. It's like they keep you forced to be constantly on the move, you know. Excuse me. And most people who are supposedly targeted and homeless they be homeless living in their vehicles, and they're a loner instead of themselves, you know. But you be the one lone target being ganged up on and bullied in the homeless shelter, you know. So Sunday is Easter, and you know, I was trying to get enough help for Sunday night. Excuse me, trying to get help for Sunday night, and for a hotel room, and then you know, I was trying to get, well, now I have the funds for food for that ought to last me a couple of days, you know. So tomorrow and Saturday I ought to have money for food. Now I have the funds for food. But excuse me, I don't know what would be open tomorrow. Tomorrow's Good Friday, and then Saturday I guess it's a normal day, and then Sunday is Easter, and I don't know what will be open or closed that day. And then I would hate to have to go back on the streets on Sunday, and the library is closed, and everything. A lot of places being closed, you know. And then, you know, excuse me. But if I can have the funds the extra funds to be here like Sunday. Usually if it's Easter and it's Sunday and then Monday everybody got to go back to work, they might be clearing out the hotels Sunday maybe, but Saturday I'm pretty sure will be packed or filled up or whatever, but Sunday they might be filled up. If not, then people might be leaving Sunday evening to go back in town to go to work the next day, but then Sunday and Monday it's not supposed to rain, but then Tuesday it's supposed to rain, and if I gotta be on the streets I don't have nowhere to go and would need help for a hotel room. But then Wednesday I get the Social Security check, and now because of the jail incident I have to pay $40 for the fake public offender fee. I have to pay $40 for that. And then I don't know what other fees that I would have to pay. And I would have to pay excuse me, about $50 for my phone bill. And because of a gang stalking scam that happened to me, I'm no longer eligible to get any of those government phones, So what happened was I was getting the government phones when I was living in Los Angeles, and then the company shut down, without telling me, and they didn't close my case. And so anytime in 2000, when I was in Greenville, South Carolina, they had a Hispanic guy that yelled at me and victim blamed me, and I guess I'm like blackballed or whatever from getting to have any of those free government phones ever again. So that's why I have to pay a $50 phone bill or a $60 phone bill now, and been having, even in 2017, when I would try to, 2017 and 18, I would try to get a government phone, and they would try to make it like as if I'm ineligible or blacklisted because that company, the other company or agency, they did not close the case, and they just suddenly went out of business without telling us. And I don't even know how they get that fixed or resolved. So I couldn't even get the free, the completely and totally free government phones, Or that might have been just a gang stalking attack on singling me out, Excuse me. So I hate when people suggest go to a church and get help, and these churches do not help. The churches, 501c3 Masonic satanic sellout churches, they do not help the poor and homeless. And then even they gang stalk you at church. And they have bullied me out of churches. And people go to church and act anything but godly. But I'm the hell-bound sinner. Excuse me. I was, they're making my nose itch, and I was not trying to cover my eye. Not on purpose or intentionally. So, but, so the fact that I have to pay, that's $90 right there out of my Social Security check that's gone. And then, excuse me, $566 if I were to get to stay here for a week. And I don't know if that's $566 total or $566 plus tax. And all I could afford would be 1 week. And after that, so, if I would need like my supplements and hygiene, excuse me, for supplements and hygiene and food, and I need a new pair of shoes but can't afford to get a new pair of shoes. And I would, like, after a week of the Social Security money running out, after a week of the Social Security money running out, then I would have to ask for help like every day for like food and hotel room or whatever else for the rest of the month. I'm tired of being forced to have to live like this. And I feel, and the online stalkers will try to manipulate for you to feel ashamed for being a burden on others. When y'all are a burden on me and stopping me from living a normal life. And then if they sabotage your housing and jobs, and then they will try to argue you and try to be like, don't help her. She quit her job willingly, or don't help, when knowing that y'all bragged about conspiring to set me up to get wrongfully fired and banned. So y'all will lie and say that I quit my job willingly when you bragged about calling up the my employer and showing them my YouTube videos and the smear campaign fake videos talking about menace to Pensacola. When y'all sex trafficking cyber criminals working for the devil. So, see them on right here and right here, both of these spots on my nose, they're trying to make a like a numb / itchy kind of feeling. So, I mean, the gang stalkers' lies have gotten me wrongfully banned from the fucking airport. Me being wrongfully banned from so many places, that also hinders like thousands of job positions and opportunities for me. And y'all have a false narrative, lying and saying that I'm lazy and don't want to work, and that I just want to freeload off of other people's hard work. And that has never been me. These online stalkers, they get the lies from my twin sister. Every lie that they say about me comes from my twin sister. And my twin sister feels absolutely no regret for her abuse towards me. That her heart is hardened towards me. But she would rather defend and agree with gang stalkers against her own other half. Would rather be loyal to gang stalking strangers over her own twin. Like prior to 2020, there was never any rumor about me being a scammer or a fraud, ever really. But one time in 2014, I think it was, or 2015, it was April 20th, one of those years, and a perp tried to take advantage of my disabled bus card. And I almost got into so much trouble. And they be having perps that be trying to pick fights with you on purpose, hoping that they can try to get you in trouble, or hoping that they can set you up to get wrongfully arrested. And then they rejoice and laugh, once they succeed. And the Bible mentions that we're not supposed to rejoice at our enemies' failures and suffering. You know, excuse me. But the perps been conspiring and planning for a long time, talking about, wanting to take me down, and saying that they can't wait for me to be put down like a rabid dog and put out of my own misery. Or they've been, conspiring to hunt for ways, even if they got to lie, manipulate, and over exaggerate, and hoping that they can just get me wrongfully put away in prison or jail, and wishing for me to die. And all this unprovoked hatred, either for nothing or behind lies that you heard. Excuse me. So with tomorrow being Good Friday, maybe I could submit some job applications online. But maybe I can submit some job applications online, but it seems like housing is, like, at least, housing seems like it's out of the question. Like, but if some miracle would have happened, the only way I guess I can, it's like I can't even stay in one place. But, people won't even help me with enough to fundraise for a vehicle to live in, and travel the country. So, these so-called migrants, they sell whatever food or whatever artwork and to survive, and nobody shuts them down. But if a homeless person is selling bottled water over the summer, the police will confiscate your money and the stuff you're trying to sell and throw you in jail and put a criminal charge on you. But in Los Angeles, people took the risk of doing it anyway, But in New Orleans, yeah, gone are the days when you can sell pecan pie out of your house without a license. Now you have to have a license, and you have to, and it's all about control. The government don't care about you, but with these fake whatever food cottage laws that I don't really know that much about, but I heard a little bit about it. But basically, nowadays, they're saying that a homeless person cannot run a business. But I feel like all I need is a vehicle. Homeless or not, all I need is a way to get a vehicle, and that can open up the door to so many more job opportunities. Like, I could be a courier, or delivery person or something, delivering packages, but due to my targeting, I cannot be a people person. Due to the targeting, I can't be a people person. You know, so I'm sitting here trying to figure out how can I, or how do I get out of this situation, and the gang stalkers are suppressing me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But they think that they can pretend to fake authorize that I deserve to be punished behind lies, and that the only things that I deserve to be punished, the only type of housing that I deserve to be punished with is jail/prison or institutionalization. And they're wicked and evil and, sadistic, narcissistic psychopaths, sociopath, and wanting to play God. And they hate me. That they gotta have a demonic spirit in order to be that hateful. And then they lie to everybody and gossip and falsely portray me as the one who's so demonic or of the devil. Damn. Excuse me. Damn, these gnats. Oh. They got red gnats in here. That they were already in here the first day I got up in here. I made a few attempts at trying to switch rooms, but I heard that they didn't have that much space available. So but I didn't work on any short stories at all today, because the afternoon I spent sleeping, much needed rest, They won't allow me to write short stories or ebooks, and they look for some crime that they would imagine that I'm committing, while they brag about their cyber crimes and cyber high five each other for their internet crimes that they did to me. And you just troll, stalk, follow, and harass and bully someone online who doesn't know you and has never done you anything. And it's like, if professed targeted individuals claim that they hate gang stalking so much, why do they join and participate? Excuse me. And they had this lady, I think she was perping with the red, or had on a red t-shirt, and she was like a fake Christian who was a new age energy healing witch, and she was like a new age witch that supposedly does energy healing or whatever. And her video popped up on my TikTok For You page, and so she had mentioned about how that there was a video of somebody who was an ex-gang stalker who was crying and saying that she was forced to participate. And so the lady in the video was saying that she feels that she does not feel any kind of sympathy or sorry for any of the ex-gang stalkers, But if God is merciful and will forgive you, if you repent and turn away from gang stalking, and I know it's not easy, but who am I to not forgive above God? If the Bible said the Son of Man has power on earth to forgive sins, and some people who are abusive and narcissistic, they think that it makes them more powerful or above God to say that, well, Jesus forgives, but I don't. They'll say stuff like that. So if they have somebody who was forced into, like, they're trying to force me and they've been unsuccessful with it. They're trying to beat me into submission and turn me into a perp and cause me to lose my soul. And I keep battling against it, So they think this jail situation will be a nail in the coffin. But guess what? I'm going to still continue to fight. And I'm going to still continue to fight. And the online stalkers sitting there talking about that they brag about how they're going to conspire to have more jail incidences for me. They're saying will be more and more jail and more jail, and even the fake Aquarian Doris was like there will be more jail and more. 2024 will be the year of more jail and more jail and more homelessness for you. You're younger than me and don't have the authority or the right to punish me. Fuck out of here. And you're probably young enough to be my child. I'm 40 years old, about to be 41 this year. And I heard you're in your early 20s or something. Probably a damn teenager. Excuse me. So, they're making my nose itch. So, but like, if there was somebody who's like truly remorseful about gang stalking, then and like truly repentant, then like who am I to think that my unforgiveness should be more powerful than Jesus Christ? But they have had at least 2 regular perps and 1 fake TI perp that has apologized to me, and then after a while go back to gang stalking me worse than they did after the fake apology. It would be fake and insincere and not genuine. And then the attacks will end up being way worse than what they were originally doing, But it sounded like as if this supposed ex-gang stalker that was crying and remorseful, I'm wondering if they're talking about the person that was involved with the Kanika Jenkins case. Because I remember seeing a video about somebody crying and being remorseful about being forced to participate in gang stalking Kanika Jenkins. But Kanika Jenkins sold out. She was a young kid, like 19. And she sold out, and I think she was wearing red and was posing with devil horns. And maybe after maybe they set her up and killed her after she took the oath. if she decided that she wanted to back out, maybe. And they had this terminally ill disabled person that was 13 years old. I can't remember her name, something Chanel. And she was wearing green, but she threw up the devil horns. And she was a diehard fan of her Beyonce. And that girl, I mean, I think her parents pushed her up, because at 13 and you're disabled, you can see stories like in the news about a child who has died, and the mainstream news, the parents will show the picture of the child throwing up satanic hand signs and stuff. And then people will talk about how this little angel went to heaven and this and that or whatever. But it's sad because the child doesn't really know any better. But maybe the child did go to heaven and be forgiven because they would be too young to know what they're doing. But you end up posing your child got killed. Like if you have a 7-year-old son that got killed some kind of way, and then the first thing is you take to the news pictures of your child with throwing up satanic hand signs. But it ain't the child's fault, it's the parents' fault. If they pushing Satanism on their child, or pushing devil worship on their child, So, excuse me, but as I said, I'm trying to figure out, I feel hopeless and helpless about a solution of what to do. I cannot go to these churches because the churches are pretending to be God, but they're Luciferian, narcissistic, satanic Freemasons, that's devil worshippers. Pretending to be Christian and then demand to be fake authority. So, the online stalkers, they sabotage the airport job opportunity. And I got hired. And they sabotaged the airport job opportunity, and they lied on me, got me wrongfully banned from the airport for the rest of my life. And they were shady at confronting me. And used like over 30 police officers surrounding me to try to intimidate and frighten me. And it was a fucking cold ass night. But if somebody is not doing wrong, then what do they need to go to jail or prison for? Just because you don't like that person. And so you make up shit and fabricate fictitious crimes that, that the target is not even committing. And it seems like what they're trying to do is they're trying to, they're trying to coercively euthanize me. And it's like, if people saying TIs need to stick together, but the TI community just keep on falling apart harder and harder. And the people who y'all really need to be going after and calling perps are the ones that the popular fakes have their own cult following. And it's all about vanity and favoritism and elitism, but the real humble Christian targets, where are y'all? And they had somebody on Twitter that made a fake smart ass comment towards me and had one eye symbolism, and then professed to be a lover of Jesus Christ and everything. And it's like they got, I mean, as I said, you profess to serve Jesus Christ, but that 777 and intentional, on purpose, willful, knowing one eye symbolism, you know, that is you're doing on purpose and thinking that it's right, you know. And I don't have control over the still screen the still image of the you know, of the thumbnail of my YouTube videos, you know. So, you know, as long as you're not doing it on purpose, you know, that's like if you wear red, I don't have an issue with someone wearing the color red. But I mean, if you wear red because, you know, that's what you got available, or because that's your favorite color for personal reasons, or if you wear red to represent Jesus Christ or whatever, or any other reason, then that's fine. But if you wear red for the purposes of gang stalking on purpose, then I have a big issue with that, you know. And so I guess I'm gonna go for now. You know, so I mean, after April 10th, then yeah, I guess after April 10th, I would be back to struggling, and be having the panhandle. And sometimes, like, I don't always, you know, it's not always convenient or the opportunity for me to take the bus. In certain instances, I have to take an Uber or a cab or something sometimes. You know, sometimes. Not always, but sometimes, you know. Depending on things that I need to do, you know. So I'm going to get off here. Thanks for listening to me. So y'all keep me in your prayers for me to be strong about what I'm going through, for me to not break psychologically, mentally, and emotionally and spiritually, you know. And it's like, I'm surprised that they even have so many so-called unmerciful and hateful Christians that make you feel just doomed, you know. So thanks for listening to me. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.